And welcome back to Mega Man 3, and let's see, we're starting off in Dr. Wily's castle, and right away he's generous enough to give us a life. And let's see, the way I'm gonna approach this castle is, I am basically gonna treat this like I'm in a race, and I'm just gonna try and speed through it as fast as I can. And let's see, I don't want to use too much rush jet, but then again in some cases it can't really be helped. And let's see, I gotta worry about fish here. Or actually not fish, I guess it's penguins. And let's see, just taking these guys out. And that's really the easy way to do this. And you know what, I want that life, so I'm just gonna go get it. And yes, you actually can have more than 9 lives in this game. And that is something just to keep in mind while you're playing it. Also, lots of slowdown. Let's see, I am going to try and go for that energy tank, and fortunately this castle does throw more than enough energy tanks at you in order to make it through. But then again, this is one of the easier Wily castles in the entire series, so getting to them is not going to be that tough, and getting through these stages really isn't that tough. Okay, just more Hammer Joes to deal with. And fortunately the Hammer Joes are all the same, so this one I'm gonna need Rush Jet. Let's just go up here. And I actually am gonna go through the invisible blocks because, well, it's easier. I don't know what happened there, I somehow got caught in between. And let's see, let's just go up here and get our first power up. Yeah, might as well. And here we are at our first boss. So wait, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to go to Shadow Blade. Here we are at this turtle dispensing machine. And there are going to be tornadoes that push you around, and I think you can get crushed in between walls if you play your cards wrong, but don't really quote me on that one. I mean, that's the only way I've really gotten killed to this thing. I mean, 5 shots, or take out the 5 turtles and you're done. And when I was playing this castle, I'd always play it with a super jump, but we're not going to be doing that in this game. Instead, what we're going to be doing is playing through this normally, and here we are in Stage 2, and surprisingly in Stage 2 there are no checkpoints, but then again, this stage is so short that, you know, it's okay. And let's see, I think our biggest hazard is going to be these spikes, as well as bees and, you know, these jaws that like to come up and kill you. But when you can scroll the bees off screen, it's actually not that bad a stage. Well, at least not now. Let's see, I want this. And yes, just like the other games, the energy or the weapon energy does not refill after each stage, so you are gonna have to hunt down weapon capsules whenever you can. But fortunately, this game throws more than enough at you to get through it. And I'm just outrunning these bees and letting Rush follow me to take it to our next boss. And this is gonna be round 2 with the Yellow Devil, and Yellow Devil's a little bit different in that he does mix up his pattern. And it's not that he changes anything on you right away, it's that after every even set of him going across the room, you are treated to something different. And so try and hit him twice here. You can use a hard knuckle, but there's also something you can do with a turbo controller that I always used to do. If you use a rush jet to get around his second set, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. And what I'm trying to do is steer the hard knuckle and just make it through here and somehow not get hit. And we are done with the Yellow Devil. And the thing with the bosses in this particular castle is that they don't have any recovery time between hits, so if you have a turbo button, you can just spam their weakness, and then they'll just end up dying in an instant. So just something to keep in mind while you're playing this. But here we are at Stage 3, and in Stage 3, you're going to be treated to a lot of vertical platforming, as well as a lot of some cheaply placed enemies, but really not that big an issue. And with that, we are already up to 9 energy tanks, so we're in pretty good shape for the stretch run. Let's see, I want to get Mega Buster going here. And another life, always good. And running out of lives really isn't that big a deal in the Wily stages, except unless you hit stage select instead of continue. Because no matter where you are, if you hit stage select, you end up at the beginning of the castle. And that was something that actually made me pretty mad the first time I found out about it. So just something to keep in mind. But yeah, outside of that, I'm really cruising through this castle, and I don't want to jinx it, even though I already might have. Let's see, these platforms are simple enough. Just time your jumps accordingly, and you're done. And here we are up to our next boss, and this is going to be the 3 Mega Man clones. They're weak against the Search Snake. And yeah, that's what I meant by no hit recovery time between hits, so I was able to just spam Search Snake and they died in an instant. So with that, we are up to Stage 4, and this is going to be the boss rush stage. Let's just get down here. And see, right away you're greeted by these junk throwing robots, or whatever they want to be called. I just like junk throwing robots better. And I'm going to be using the Search Snake against them just because I feel that, you know, that's an easy way to deal with them. And let's see, all I'm doing is just moving back whenever they shoot the junk at me, as inappropriate as that sounds. And if you don't kill them fast enough, they do end up getting another ball of trash to throw at you. And nobody built Garbage Man yet. But here we are at the bosses. And one thing that a lot of people don't know about this game is that all the bosses have weaknesses to their own weapon. So that's how I'm gonna approach this boss rush. And just take out these guys as quickly as I can with their weakness. Alrighty. Now stop jumping high. So that was Needle Man down. And you can tell where they are based off of how their weapons are aligned, just like 2. And here we are in Magnet Man, and the pattern's going to be pretty much the same. Except that I'm just going to do things a little bit differently. Just like so. And say Gemini Man should be next. And for those of you wondering, no, I'm not going to be fighting Top Man with his own weakness. I honestly tried, I kept dying. And that's just because Top Man's weapon, well, it's pretty legendary for being very sucky. And almost had that one. Let's see, up next should be Hard Man. And let's see, what I'm gonna do is try and steer the Hard Knuckle. And just try and hit him as fast as I can. And yeah, that's really the best way to deal with him. And let's see, now I kinda don't want to waste too much Hard Knuckle on Top Man. So I'm just gonna try and take him out with a Mega Buster. And I am using Turbo for those of you wondering. And the normal bosses do have invincibility frames after getting shot, but the Wily bosses were the only ones that don't. So that's what I meant. And just one more. And now we're up to the next section of weapons, and we're up to Shadow Man. And just remember, it's 3 jumps. Or at least whenever he feels like it. Alrighty, let's just take you out. And up next should be Spark Man. So, same strategy as before. You know, I'm just doing this a different way. And last up should be Snake Man. So what we're gonna do here is just try and get him that way. And just keep going accordingly. And with Snake Man done, we are done with the boss rush. And I'm just gonna fill up on snakes, why not? As well as Hard Knuckle. As we go off into our first skull. And of course, since you guys do get the idea that there is always going to be more than one skull. So yeah, I want to get Spark back too. And I do appreciate this music. It does make you feel like you're in a pretty dire spot in the game. Well, not just in the game, but in a pretty dire spot, period. Actually, if anybody is on any job interviews, they should probably play this in the waiting room. But here we are at Dr. Wily's ship. It walks on pegs, and you just want to shoot the cannon. And that was over before it even started. And what you want to do for this form of Dr. Wily is steer the hard knuckle up. And you can do that just by holding up or down to steer it. And with that, Dr. Wily is done. Or not. And yeah, Mega Man somehow flabbergasted by that. Then again, based on some of the stuff that happens later in the series, you kinda come to expect that. And see, here we are at the last stage, and I've even heard some people say that maybe this was meant to be like part of a different stage because you are dropping off from the top for some unexplained reason. And also, they do give you health power-ups here, which doesn't make any sense considering you start off at full health. But here we are at the final battle. I don't know, maybe those two skulls were meant to be one stage. But here we are at the final battle with Gamma. And I'm just gonna do this the easy way. And with Gamma done, Dr. Wily comes out, tries to punch me with his spikes. And see, this is what I'm gonna do. You can also use the snakes in addition to the top spin. So let's just do this the fun way. And with that, Dr. Wily is done, and we have beaten Mega Man 3. So let's just enjoy the ending. Well, Gamma comes crashing down on me. Well, not yet. And Dr. Wily somehow survived that. Or did he? Well, somehow Mega Man didn't. Or at least that knocked him out somehow. Well, we get some nice dialogue from Dr. Light. And this is when you first find out about Proto Man rescuing you. Of course, this was Proto Man's first game, so they didn't really get his design down properly. And with that, we are treated to a credit roll of all the first bosses made by Dr. Light. And even though the game says right, well, depending on if you're from Japan or not. But anyway, well, you all know how the Brennel Floss song goes. But my thoughts on Mega Man 3, I do like the faster pace of it. I mean, compared to the more precise platforming that Mega Man 2 brought to the table. I mean, I still like 2's precision better, but I just think 3's a nice change of pace from 2. I mean, the difficulty was a little uneven, but I mean, this is still my second favorite Mega Man game, and this is one I definitely played a lot, and this is one I definitely enjoyed playing here. And with that, we get to look up into the mountains. And one of those holograms, or one of those pictures of Proto Man, and Dr. Wily's ship crashes into a tree. So now we're treated to our credit roll, And this is just who designed who. And, I think something did feel a little off with this game though, and some of its uneven difficulty, and also some of its inconsistency. And I think Keiji Inafune even said in an interview that this was probably his least favorite out of the classic Mega Mans, because this one felt the most rushed, and frankly there are some things in this game that leads me to believe that he is telling the truth. I don't know, it's just up to your opinion. I mean, if you guys want to leave comments on your opinions, then go on right ahead, that's what they're there for. And with that, all the Robot Masters are revealed, and also you get a pretty nice credit sequence, and I really do like the music to this ending. I mean, it does make you feel like you accomplished a lot, and it also makes you feel pretty damn good about beating this game. And that's something that good ending music needs to do. And, let's see, where I'm going next with Mega Man Summer is, I'm actually almost done recording Mega Man 5 for Game Boy. That's actually going to be a special co-op commentary. And, let's see, when I get to that, I'll, get to it, but right now, up next is going to be Mega Man X, and we are taking the jump from Nintendo to Super Nintendo. And we are starting off with, the first and probably best game in the Mega Man X series. And, just like before, I'm going to be doing X, X2, and X3 in succession. And, it is going to be my first Super Nintendo game, so I'm really looking forward to it. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you pretty soon.